session with a universal pratna in current pandemic situation. Sarvetra sukhina santu, sarve shantu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasetu kamapnyat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Today we all of have gathered for an expert talk on nanotechnology industrial perspective. We all of us know that nanotechnology is a current emerging field and so many research is going on in this field and very limited application. This application is growing day by day in this field, and due to this emerging field, we have arranged this nanotechnology expert talk today. So I will request Professor N.R. Waghela, HOD of Chemical Engineering Department of GEC Bharuch, to welcome our today's expert, Dr. Sandip Patil, sir. Waghela, sir, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. I express my sincerest and deepest gratitude to my friend Dr. Sandip Patil, sir. He is founder, entrepreneur, and technologist, and MD of Spin Nanotech Pvt Limited. I very much thankful to Sandip sir for sparing their valuable time. It's really wonderful to listen you. Without much wasting time, I once again welcome to you, sir, and start the session. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Waghela sir. I must thank the director of the institute, all the faculty member, and my very close friend Alpesh sir and the Waghela sir for inviting me for this talk. When have been told that I will have to give an expert talk, so I thought, like, I am not an expert, but I will try to do an expert talk, okay, whatever I can. So I told Alpesh, okay, fine, but let me know who are the people who are going to attend the talk. So he said that there will be engineering student and the industry people. So I try to mix the things, okay. The nanotechnology also, entrepreneurship also, innovations also, and also trying to connect every dot, how one can be an entrepreneur, how one can start the company from the innovation perspective. So let's begin with, and I'll try my best, whatever I can be. Can you please allow me to share my slides, please?
Yes. Sandip sir, just a minute. Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes. Before starting the session, I have already shared your LinkedIn profile to all our students. So they must have gone through the profile, but no, I want to introduce you in front of our students. Basically, all
Your
the
voice
students
is
are
not,
from semester 5th and semester 7th.
your voice is breaking in between.
Hello.
Yeah.
All the students are from semester 5th and 7th of Chemical Engineering Department. And I would like to introduce Sandip sir. Science says that knowledge is a power. But when this knowledge is applied in a practical field, it becomes a reservoir of power. And if you want to see this in a real field, then you have to meet Dr. Sandip Patil. If you want to see journey from farmer to founder, okay, nobody in the current age want to introduce themselves as a farmer, but sir has written the first word in his profile, farmer. Okay, so from farmer to founder of a company. And if you want to see this journey, you must meet Dr. Sandip sir. If you want to be an entrepreneur, then take the inspiration from the Sandip sir. If you want to know how to study in BTech, in MTech, how to pursue PhD, then you also meet Dr. Sandip sir. If you want to do something in the field of nanotechnology, then also you have to meet Dr. Sandip sir. There are so many things to say, but due to the limitation of time, I am compressing my talk and I hand over the mic to Dr. Sandip sir to continue his session. Sir, please continue.
Thank you so much, Alpesh sir. And I never thought of that. My, I always writing in my profiles farmer first and the founder second. But I never thought in that way that farmer to founder, it is a very good tagline to use everywhere. Okay. So thank you so much for giving this good tagline. So let's begin with, I'll share my presentation and let's start. Okay, so everybody can see the slides, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, visible.
So, as I said, this talk is not only related to the technology, but it is also related to the future startups. What are the things that are going around you in a technology sector? During this pandemic, we learn a lot, innovations of various products, the problem solving innovations, and also we learn a lot like to tackle the problems in a very nice way. Considering all the aspects and our research and my research, I will just try to cope up with all the things in a together form, and will give a little way to future startups. What can be done in the sector where the technology begins and the product ends at the large level. Okay. So here is the talk is related to the nanofiber technology and its commercial opportunities. Along with this, future startups of these technologies. Whenever I start my talk, I always giving these two photographs of, both of them my younger. She is my elder daughter, and she is the younger one. So in our home, and everywhere, we always used to ask our children that what you want to become, and obvious answer is that yes, I want to become a doctor, an engineer, or maybe the pilot, and so many things. But nobody replies to the answer is that I want to become an entrepreneur. But now this time has come. Let's teach our children that you should become an entrepreneur. You should become the MD or CEO of the company. Start something new, not the regular stuff that all the peoples are doing. So that is what is the motivation over here, that let's begin with something new. Let's coin something new in our society where the startup word should be coined and it should be fitted in the children's mind that you should become also an entrepreneur alongside of the doctors and entrepreneurs. The engineers. As Alpesh sir was saying that I am a farmer first and the founder second, and he's right. Like this is my home, very small one. These two pictures I have taken from the terrace from my hometown. So you can see it is a very small one, and all these houses you can see all they are basically tribals. People who are residing in my hometown, they are all tribes, and you can see here the population is around 1500. Out of those 1500 population, the 75% population is all tribes and 25% populations others like farmers like me. And I'm staying here along with my younger brother, and this is our cotton farm. So whenever I used to go home, I always spending my time in the farm only, because I love to enjoy that. I always also spend time how one can do a novel or maybe the different farming than the traditional farming. That is what is my the nowadays the experiments are going on. So this is what, and this village is basically in the North Maharashtra University. sorry, North Maharashtra part of that, and it is very close to Bharuch, around 200 kilometers. It is close to the MP and UP border, and name is like the Pimpri Chimthana, and this is the Dhule district in the Maharashtra. So many of you always used to ask the question, like, let's say if I want to become an entrepreneur, that I really have to become should be grown up in the business family. But obvious answer is that people always go back and they check their the background matters, and all on that they decide whether I will be able to do that or not. But it is not the obvious answer to the particular question that background matters. Okay, so if this is the question, what will be the answer for that? So everyone, like he is a very well-known personality in India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and everybody knows his journey. Before President of India, before the aeronautics person, the missile man of India, he was a poor child in his village or poor child in his family. Okay, his family was not that big that he can have that kind of capability to survive. So, but he could able to manage, and he could able to do everything whatever he want to do, and it happens just because of his willingness and the passion. Okay, that is what is there, and that is what we need to adapt. So what he says always, success is when your signature changes to an autograph, and that must be well noted. Success is when your signature changes to an autograph, and we have to work in that particular direction, that our signature should change towards the autograph, and that must be the things. So to begin with, when I started my company, that give me the little glimpse of that. It was in 2010, as I said, that I did my, as Alpesh sir was saying, I did my BTech, but BTech I did it from BTech I did from North Maharashtra University, and then I came to MS University Baroda for my EME Polymer Technology, and from there I went to IIT Kanpur for my PhD. When I was doing a PhD, that time we have created some innovations, we have created some machines. I have created those machines for my own personal use and for my personal research, and that is all related to the nanofiber technology, where the nanofiber can be created, manufactured, and those nanofibers can be used for the various applications one can find it out. And during the time 2010, it was the very emerging field of nanotechnology, where people, they started working on nano and nanofiber technology mostly. Then I also started. This was one of the problem of my thesis during the PhD. So I worked on around 5 problems related to the innovations. Out of 5, I could successfully able to commercialize 2 problems out of it. Okay, so those all PhD problems I could able to successfully implement as a commercial products. So it was a 2010 I started, but I have finished my PhD in 2013. Okay, so the company was started in 2010, and then we have started manufacturing of those machines during the era of 2012 and 11, and I got a first machine order from the IIT Kanpur itself, and from there I started the company. So today, you can see many news over there that company XYZ got the investment of some X amount of X crores. Okay, but in this company we never took a loan before that, and we never asked for the investment, and today the company value is more than 300 crores. Okay, we are like there are many things that we are doing with, and we could able to run not only in India, we could able to spread ourselves not only in India but in Europe, America, Russia, and then Middle East also. We could able to sell our machines everywhere in the world. We did a collaboration with the one of the company in South Korea. This is also nanotech company. We are trying to expand our footprint over there also, and not trying, we have already done it. So, and also in Sweden, and then the company was awarded top 5 nanotechnology company Times India Award Innovation. There are many awards which I have not mentioned over here, but many things we have received in between this journey. So basically, the talk is related to the nanofiber technology. So nanofiber technology, which is developed by ESP Nanotech, and related to that product. But let's understand what is the nanotechnology. Here is the example and the picture of it. Like, let's say this is basically a human hair, which is just sitting on top of the nanofibers. Now we can see the scale ratio. The human hair is almost covering the 50% of that picture area, and underneath of that you can see billions of nanofibers are sitting over there. So let's consider, like, one human hair is covering a large surface area in a similar domain, or maybe the similar size. Small nanofibers are covering a very high surface area. So that makes the difference of nanotechnology, which is from the micro scale or maybe the millimeter scale to the nanoscale. So here is basically micro scale. Now it is scaled down towards the nanoscale, and the numbers that comes out, it is a 10 raised to minus 9 nanometer in size compared to the meter in size. Okay. So when you scale down those particular material and you can increase the surface area, what you can able to get it, high surface area, then fiber diameter that we are doing it, and we are could able to make it is around 100 nanometer. It has very low density, large surface area to the mass, high pore volume, and because of the very tight pore volume, nanofiber, they have the very wide applications in various fields. So how one can make nanofibers? There are various techniques available. Okay, that is like a thermal induced phase separation, drawing, template synthesis, self assembly, centrifugal spinning. So these are the techniques where you can create a nanofibers, but ultimately each and every technique has merit and demerits. But can we scale up? So there is a question, is always a scale up. So every technique is related to the some kind of application limitations and the production limitations. So what we came out is the technology called electrospinning technology, where you can create a nanofibers. Okay, so basically here is the machine where you can see there is an infusion pump, there is a drum called as a collector, infusion called as a spinneret or the electrode. So what happens over here, you apply the high voltage. This is the high voltage generator. High voltage generator means it is not something 1 kV or 2 kV. We are applying almost a 50 kV of voltage. Okay, 50 kilowatt, 50,000 watt voltage on the side of the electrode. So you have the electrode which is filled with the solution of polymer solution. Basically, you can create a polymer solution by adding some kind of solvent, and that consider, this is basically a syringe. Syringe is connected with the needle. Needle is a metallic needle. You have the polymer solution, and this high voltage is connected with the needle. So consider that needle is a positive electrode, and other side you have the grounded electrode, that is basically a negative, and we call as a collector. So apply the high voltage. What will happen when the moment you apply the high voltage, the polymer which is there along with the solvent will get highly charged. Somehow the charge has to be dissipated somewhere. So here is the dielectric. Basically it is air. Now other side, what will happen when the charge will reach towards its critical position or the critical limit, saturation limit, the charge has to dissipate somewhere. So what will happen between the collector and the electrode, the charge will transfer or travel from the positive side towards the negative side, and there will be electric field formation during these two electrodes. This electric field is so strong, it gets this polymer stretched out from the needle and will transfer from needle side toward the collector side. So what will happening during this time, there is a Taylor cone formation, this kind of Taylor cone formation. This polymer will get stretched over here. It will form very tiny threads, and whatever solvent was there in the polymer, that will get evaporated immediately. So at the end, you will end up with the solid rods of that particular polymer, and that is what we call as a nanofiber with the size of 50 nanometer. During this process, what happens? Like there are many surface tension, many forces that are acting during this process, and those are basically electric polarization stresses, tangential electric stresses, normal electric stresses, surface tension, gravity, viscosity. These are the forces. They will basically act on this polymer processing during the electrospinning process. So what are the geometries that we could able to obtain out of this? So there are basically solid nanofibers like this, then hollow nanofibers like this, then the porous nanofibers like this, and the bead or maybe the beaded nanofibers. So there are various morphologies you can create by using the this technique, and those different morphologies can be used in various applications, and those applications are like, you know, considering electronic to healthcare. So let's take example of environment, electronic, energy, defense, health sector, automotive, buildings, and consumers. What is being we are working on mostly on healthcare and the automotive sector as a filtration technology. Okay, not in the other area, but the nanofiber, they have various tremendous applications or the uses in various sectors also. So let's take those applications point of view one by one. So nowadays you can see the landfilling of the PET bottles is very high. Okay, the wastage of PET bottles is very high. So what we have done, we have dissolved these PET bottles in the solvent and created the nanofibers. So what you can do with those nanofibers, see, one side you are solving a problem related to the environment, and other side you are creating the novel materials for the various applications. And those applications can be making of an air filter, making of an oil filter, wound dressing, hydrophobic coatings. This is the uses, and these are the applications of these PET bottles in very large scale. Along with this, we have another application like taking and biomaterials or biodegradable materials as the material to do electrospinning. You can do electrospinning on the plants also. You can do electrospinning as a pesticide of materials. You can do electrospinning as a fertilizer of material. So what will happen when you use the electrospinning for this particular application? Let's take an example where you do a pesticide spray in the farms. So what happens mostly, the pesticide sprays are mostly being sprayed by traditional way, having a pump, spray the liquid, and it gets deposited on the plants. But what happens after certain time, it gets washed out if there is a rainfall, or the time span of the delivery is very low. So what is happening over here? Like we have a pesticide loaded nanofiber, they will go and attach with the stick to the plants, and they will have a slow release of pesticide over the time. So the pesticide traditional spray may be staying for a day or two, but it will stay more than that. Let's consider maybe 10 days or so, because it is releasing that pesticide by very controlled manner. Similarly, using a fertilizer spray as a nanofiber spray, what is happening mostly nowadays, we have granular form of materials like NPK. If you want to increase the soil quality by just enhancing the NPK addition, so soil quality will improve. But it is the right way to do it, because what happens mostly, I have seen this many times, if I spray the urea effect is for very short time, maybe 5 days or so, and after that it gets degraded. So what will happen, your plant those 5 days will show a very high growth, and over the time the growth, the urea effect will be fallen down, and your plant growth is also fallen down, and it will have adverse effects when it comes in a fertile stage. So what is required, that we need a controlled pesticide, control fertilizers material where we can add it. So what is the best way to do it? We have created some kind of electrospray technique for the farms, where the cellulose material and the rhizobia bacteria. Rhizobia bacteria is one of the bacteria which presents in the soil, which increase the NPK ratio inside in the soil. So we can add that rhizobia bacteria as a large amount with the nanofibers. So bacteria will eat the nanofibers because it is a eatable material, and it will make its own colonies in a large number, and that's how it will be able to increase the NPK ratio in the soil. So these are the applications that I was talking about. Another example is the nanofiber for the energy. So mostly nowadays, the nanofiber being used for the energy harvesting, mostly in solar panels. People are trying to make the solar panels out of nanofibers, because when you do the nanofiber coating, the solar radiation of those particles will be one dimensional, and you will be able to harvest more energy compared to the present technique which are available. And where the people, like, we are also trying to do electro spinning drawing on the panels where one dimensional lines can be created. So but line is one dimensional, but the overall structure will be the three dimensional, where you can create more harvesting energy, more you can able to harvest energy in more harvesting. Another application is the lithium ion batteries, where we could able to show. We have been working on this particular area from last 10 years along with our IIT Kanpur group and ISPIN, where porosity is about what happens and how we can increase the battery storage. So here, when we use the nanofibers as a material, what happens? Porosity is going to increase 90%, okay, which is going to reduce the resistance to ionic current. Okay, important is the resistance of the ionic current. When it is going to decrease, when the porosity is more than 90%, it will allow have the packing density of those molecules at a large number, and that packing density of ions will give you the much higher electricity compared to the present technologies. Significant increase of battery power density, that is what I was talking about. Higher rate and faster charging, that is what we need today, because in EV vehicles, electronic vehicles, we need to have like the similar way that we take a petrol, like 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes maximum. Our car should be able to be charged in a 15 minutes, and we can able to run at least a 300 kilometer. That should be the sustainable model to develop. Okay, so that is what people are working on it. How the batteries can be charged very fast, less than 10 minutes or so, and increase of the battery life capacity kept longer. This is what is the need of innovation today. Also, the application can be used the nanofiber in various textile and defense sector. Like this is the one of the company Tensile nanofiber product. They are basically into the garments and the textile. They are creating the breathable antiviral antibacterial textile. Okay, basically for the wearing purposes. So here is a beautiful graph which shows that mostly polyamide material that we are being used, polyester, polypropylene, cotton and tencel. So they just comparing when you have the polyamide and when you have the tencel and in between. So the polyamide has the growth capacity of bacteria growth is 2000 times and more than that. Okay, on the polyamide textile. When it comes to an polyester side, it is around 132 times more growth compared to the polyamide, which is very high even compared to the tencel. Let's take an example of polypropylene. It also has 10x growth compared to the polyamide, compared to the tencel, and cotton is 10x compared to the tencel. And tencel, you can say, very small growth of bacteria and the virus and particular fabric. Along with this, it is only related to the bacteria, but along with this, also importantly, it will give you more breathable capability, where our soldiers and the doctors, they need to have some kind of clothing where the breathability should be much more, so they won't feel suffocated by wearing those clothes. Similarly, application in the defense sector, where the antiviral antibacterial coating will be done on the suits in order to protect from any kind of biological warhead. This is the other example where the nanofiber for healthcare, this strength being used in the bypass surgery, as well as the the nowadays for the to avoid the cardiac arrest. So what happens mostly, this stent, when it is get inserted into the arteries and veins, mostly this is though a biomaterial, not, it is a biocompatible material, not the biomaterial, it is biocompatible material. Over the time, what happens mostly, you can see the formation of the another layer of on top of that stent. To avoid that, what researchers have done, they have done the coating of nanofiber on top of it. What will happen? This coating is basically a biomaterial which will allow cells to grow again. Okay, so you can clean that particular surface and allow cells to grow on this, particularly on top of this surface. Again, you can form a new channel where some over the time you can take this stent out and you have the new fresh channel formation in that particular region. This is what is the idea. People already, researchers are working on it. And it will give you the low immune response, sustainable effect, enhanced biocompatibility. That is what people, when the low immune response is there, then we can think about it. Then another example is the battery, where what we need is the high permeability of gases and liquid, where the normal bandages that doesn't have high absorption capacity of liquids, antibacterial and high filtration efficiency of bacteria, resulting in the decreased infection, swelling and gel forming capability to keep an area moist, anti-adhesive effect to the dermia. So these are the basically nanofiber based bandages. They have this capability, and this is also shown that use the nanofiber based the bandages, they will give you more faster recovery compared to the any other bandages. It is already being shown by the researcher. So what are the applications that nanofiber also can be explored, like wound care, as already we have talked about, barrier garments, respirators, tissue engineering, drug delivery. These are the applications already people are worked on. They have already shown to the commercial applications. Another example is the sensor. So what are the sensor people can make out of it, like acoustic wave sensor, resistive sensor, photoelectric sensor, optical sensor, gas sensor? People, they are already making based on nanofibers, and the coming era sensor based technology which will give you an idea, even whether the fruit is like fresh or not. There will be a sensor indication of this. It will indicate whether this fruit has the capability, I mean, like you can eat it or you don't have to eat it. So these are the basically material one can work on and see the sensor application in a larger scale. Similarly, the application in the buildings, where one can use this nanofiber thermal and noise insulation, solar panel for the roofs and frontage. I also talked about the benefit that one can obtain out of it, like high absorption coefficient, energy and material savings, clean energy generation, transport and colored panels. So I said high absorption coefficient. What do you mean high absorption coefficient? That is basically high absorption coefficient is related to the this sound absorption. So take an example of regular regular membrane and the regular membrane plus nylon 6 nano layer. Okay, so what will happen here? No, sorry, not nylon 6 nano layers, not the one, 6 nano layers on top of the regular fabric. So what is happening here? You can see high sound energy which is passed through this barrier which has the nanomaterials, and low sound energy. You can see change in the sound energy over the between left and right. So what is there? Let's consider regular has the absorption coefficient is just close to 5, but when you use the nanomaterials and the regular fabric composite, you will have a coefficient close to 1, which is very significant enhancement in the sound absorption, which is needed in various places to have the noise insulation, like even in your cars also it is required. So what are the future opportunities for the startups? So you can see here is the global map, like global nanofiber market, key drivers and the figures. Key market, filtration segment is the biggest market, which is covering 59%. Polymer nanofibers, that basically covering 26%, and the market in the APSC, which is Asia Pacific region, 37%. So from 2016 to 2021, the market from 600 million, it is going to be a 2,000 million, and you can see the incremental growth of 1,493. So this is basically the financial aspect. People, if I will start working on the nanofiber technology, whether I could be able to make sustainable startup, or I could be able to make the revenue generation model or not. From this graph, you can easily predict that what is going to happen in the coming years. Of course, it is going to be end by the 2021 very soon, maybe in 6 months or so. But ultimately, we have another predictions up to the 2025, and the numbers are really big compared to. And during this era, last 2 years, nanofiber and nanotechnology has grown up a very large scale. So, as I said, what are the startup opportunities? In Asst Nanotech, we started working on filtration 59, which is a segment is the 59% covering, where we started on air purification, domestic and market, which is the market size is around 29 billion by 2021 this year, and it is already grown. Take example, anywhere you need to have antibacterial and antiviral filtration technology available in your houses, in the medical sector, anywhere you take a name, okay, even your automobile, cars also, you need to have antiviral, antibacterial, air filtration technology, because people, they are more cautious about it. So we have developed an NHEPA, nano-HEPA technique for the air filtration technology, which is there. So what happened? So here is basically what we have done, nanofiber filter for the capturing COVID-19 virus. So this is the project which is supported by DST Nano Mission, IIT Kanpur and Asst Nanotech to work on. What we have done, we created some kind of nanoparticle mobilized nanofibers, where this nanoparticle are basically acting as an anchoring material for the viruses. So what they will do, they will attach with the virus and they will deactivate the virus. This is the more important point to be noted. What we need, not only antiviral material, we need virus and bacteria deactivation material. So here is the particles there, you can see where the virus is going to be attached, and ultimately you have the virus anchored with a nanofiber mesh, long lasting static charge. It also has a static charge, which is very important to have some kind of static charge in the material to deactivate the viruses. Easy to incorporate nanoparticles for antiviral and antibacterial activity, reusable and washable. So importantly, we need to reduce the waste. Today, the PPE waste is very high. Okay, mask, consider apparel, consider PPE kits. So the waste of those materials is very high. So what we need to have is the reusable and the washable material, and that is what we have implemented over here. Similarly, we have used this material for our making the mask. You might have heard about the SWASA mask in the market. The SWASA mask is basically a product of Asst Nanotech and the product of IIT Kanpur, which is in the market, where the people, they have the trust on it. So what we have is over there, it is basically nanofiber filter inside and the other material combination. This is the product which is in the market, which is we call as a N99, and the other which has the capacity of to filter out PM.25. Another material another mask that's SWASA in the market, that is basically PM 2.5 mask, which is the highly demanded mask in the market that we are already selling in the market. We have created some kind of filters, ventilator filters, where they will capture the virus and the bacteria based on this technology. Okay, so they will capture the virus and the bacteria. This is a very common problem. Like most of the ventilators, they came up with the HEPA filters, and HEPA filter doesn't have that kind of capability which can deactivate the virus and the bacteria. So what we have done is that we have created the filters. Those filters will be attached with the ventilators, okay, outlet, and it won't allow virus and the bacteria which is coming out from the patient it will deactivate over there. So that's how we can prevent the spreading, secondary spreading of the virus in the nearby environment. And these are the basically solution that we have already worked on, and we have created those filters for the ventilators. Similarly, similar filter for the positive air pressure PPE kit, where these are also used basically as a filter media, where they are taking the air from the environment and pushing that air into your jacket. So ultimately, this is the inlet point which has to be protected very well. So considering that aspect also, we have created the filters where those filters will deactivate the virus and the bacteria, won't allow bacteria go inside the suit. Similarly, coatings on the PPE suits, because as I said in my previous slide, what we need to have is the breathable fabric along with all kind of characteristics like antiviral, antibacterial. It should kill and deactivate the virus and the bacteria, but it should have that capability to wear for the longer time. And mostly all the PPE kits which are coming in the market, they have capability, they have only plastic coating, very thin layer of plastic which is coated on top of it, so that doesn't allow any kind of breathing capability. Okay, so idea is to how one can create that breathing capability. So idea is to coat a nano layer on top of it to create that particular application. So like as I said, there are many ideas. So what to do? Like, you know, most of you and many of you might have this question. Now, what to do? So it is very hard to answer that question, what to do. I mean, of course, we jump with here and there, we get many ideas and we always fail to choose one. And that is where we fail mostly. So take a very simple example. Okay, so cockroaches everybody knows, spiders everybody knows in India. Okay, so here I am always miss this line. This is not this. This is basically think big, think different, be confident. Okay, this is what is the tagline. And what is that? Think big, think different. Think big and think different is basically we pay to kill cockroaches and the spiders. In Thailand, they pay to eat cockroaches and the spiders. So what will be the business idea out of it? Okay, that is what think different I mean to say. So business idea is, rather than killing cockroaches and spiders in India, if I will think in a different way, what I will do, I will make a pickles of spiders and the cockroaches, and will sell those pickles of spider and cockroaches to the Thailand to earn the money in dollars. It's a very simple idea. Okay, and why should I spend money to buy the spray and to kill the cockroaches and spider, rather than I will create the trap to capture them and sell to make the pickle and sell to the Thailand. So it's just an example. Of course, it is not a just you can make the money by just creating the pickles. Okay, so what do you see in India? Like I used to say, like, you know, it is a Bharat, then Hindustan, and then India. But one thing is always common in all. While the transition had happened from Bharat to Hindustan, Hindustan in India, and what is the thing is that what do you see? I mean, what do you see in India? Of course, it is an online class. I cannot hear any of your answer, but most of you must be answering many things, considering everything. Okay, one might have think of the population, one might have think of the waste management, one can think of the easy transportation, one can think of anything. There are n number of. What I can see, so many problems. Okay, so only I can see an opportunities. If there are many problems, see, important is not the solution, important is the finding a right problem. So if I can find a right problem, I can have an opportunity to solve that problem. I can have the opportunity to encash that problem. Okay, During this pandemic, many of have just sitting in the houses. They have not done anything. But myself, I have considered it is an opportunity. I never spent a single day in my home. During the during the tight lockdown, I was working in the ITK labs. I got a special permission to work on, and during this time, we have created at least 4 to 5 products, and they are already in the market from last 2 years. So the people who are sitting here, they are all engineers like us, like Alpesh sir and like Vagela sir. So they are all engineers, okay? And what I call them, they are basically a perfect sandwich. And why they are perfect sandwich? They have the curiosity, they have the creativity, they have the imagination, and the exceptional skill to innovate the new products. That's why they are basically a perfect sandwich and the burger. Don't look burger as a burger. Look, the burger has a many combination. That's why it stays as the what you call Lucy or something. You know what we call that very nice word. Very good. I really don't know what was that. But when you have this combination, then you have that skill to innovate the new product. But what we fail over here is that many of you, like we do in IIT also, many of us, what we do and where we fail, we always have a preconceived notions, okay? And the Mary Brown says preconceived notions are the locks on the door to the wisdom. And what is how to look at those preconceived notions? Those are basically getting a good job in MNC, to be a professor. If I do my PhD, if I did my PhD, I always want to become a professor or maybe the researcher in the institutions. Getting also, if I complete my PhD, another step is getting a postdoctoral position completion after the completion of PhD. So these are the things, okay, and these are the basically obvious. But what we need to have, this is what we call. We always used to say, think out of the box. Okay, this is what our the obvious answer. If I look at, okay, कुछ तो different करो यार, हम बोलेंगे कुछ out of the box सोचते हैं. When you say this statement, again you are creating one more borderline, because out of the box means where, until what limit you will think of it. There is another limit. So we always used to say, don't try to think outside the box. Understand that there is no box, because your thinking, your imagination is limitless. If you think in that way, you definitely will be a successful person in your life to create something new. As I said in my first slide, don't put yourself just limited to the salaried person. Think yourself that you are going to give a salary to the other people. So how these opportunities can be grabbed? Okay, I am saying many things, but if you want to do many things, you need to have the money. The money will come from where? Okay, so money will only come from like the fundings which are available in the market. When I started the company in 2010, it is almost a decade back. That time there was no opportunities for startups like me, because there was no Startup India and Stand Up India movement. But now we have the Startup India and Stand Up India movement. What we have is the government funding available on your doorstep, seed capital funding, alumni, like your institute must be having alumni funding. Technology promotion, which is the Government of India initiative, public-private like DBT, TDB. These are the funding options available. And apart from that, your state government is always available, the different funding availability. Second stage of funding, bank, like SIDBI, angel investor, government funding, TDB, BIDAC, SIDBI, TIFAC, revolving funding for equity participation, and there are many. So these are just few of them which is noted over here, but you can get it more. Okay, and importantly, what is that? The important thing is that as an academician, we always work on the scientific problem, innovative problem, and solving those problems. But what happens at the end? Those problems are not getting transferred from the lab toward the industry. Okay, and what we call is that value of death. And the value of death is basically the value of death is where many good science ideas, technologies, new product and processes are dying. Okay, now today also. So being a new people, being a new innovative people, our aim should be all the research, whatever we are doing in the lab, not even in the lab, in your house, in your kitchen, that should be transferable towards the commercial product. Then how our society can benefit out of it. Very, this is what I always used to call future is a mystery. Both good and bad can happen. One should not be intimidated by fear of failures. Think of innovative ideas and take the plunge. Why this is important is because just take an example. Whenever I'm going to or anyone is going to take a step further, they always think the future. And if I'll do a B, if I'll do today as an I will do a BTech, I will be a very good uh, employee in the MNC. Okay, or maybe I can be at this. If this is going to happen, then I will start thinking that if I will do this today, I will become a Prime Minister of India. Whether it is going to happen that easily, okay, it is very difficult. So don't think that in the futuristic way. Just think in the practical way. What is going to happen today, okay, and how it will be implemented tomorrow. सो इम्पोर्टेंटली उठो जागो और तब तक रुको नहीं जब तक लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति ना हो जाए, जो स्वामी जी ने कहा था, स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने, ये बहुत सटीक लाइन है। उठो जागो और तब तक रुको नहीं जब तक लक्ष्य प्राप्त ना हो जाए, जो हमारे देश में हमारे युवा में मिसिंग है। उठो मोबाइल के साथ, जागो मोबाइल के साथ, और तब तक रुको नहीं जब तक हम लास्ट पोस्ट फेसबुक पे कर देते नहीं है। ये आज की डेट में लागू होता है, लेकिन इसका महत्व कुछ अलग है। उठो जागो तब तक रुको नहीं जब तक लक्ष्य प्राप्त न हो जाए। एंड इन माय लाइफ my target is to become the MNC company become more than the Tatas and Birlas and Ambanis. That is what my target is, and we will make it. That is what is my target. Okay. Entrepreneurship, सफलता की कुंजी. That is what I learned during my entire tenure. And what is that? When our mosque was won by our Prime Minister during the Ayodhya Puja in last year. Okay, and that was a big moment for us when the PM itself is endorsing our mosque in a big platform. Okay, so that feels good. And I must tell you here, maybe in coming session of Parliament, we have the Parliament itself, they have asked to supply our product to all the MPs who are going to have the Parliament session, including everyone. And maybe in the next week, you could able to see all the SWASA masks available in Parliament. All the MPs might be wearing it. And this is my team, myself, my wife who started along with me, my friend Dr. Sunil Dhole, who is a technical director, another friend Dr. Sri Kumar Vedu, R&D director, Mr. Nitin Charate, my friend, who is also came from Europe, who joined this company and helping this company in a lot way in air filtration technology. All the teams, only 25% of it. We have around strength of 60 people, and they don't have in this picture. It was taken into 2020 and now it is 21. We have to update this picture very soon. And thank you so much. Thank you, Alpesh sir. I'm done with this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. So let us start some question answer session. So from students, from faculty, if any questions are there, you can ask directly. Any question?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. सर आपने बोला कि जो रिसर्च लैब में होती है वो इंडस्ट्री में नहीं पहुंचती, तो उसको उधर तक लेने के लिए क्या रास्ते हो सकते हैं, मतलब हम क्या कर सकते हैं तो इंडस्ट्री में वो प्रोडक्ट बन के मार्केट में जाए और लोगों के काम आ सके।
हाँ, मैंने ये बोला कि जो रिसर्च हम लैब में करते हैं वो इंडस्ट्री तक पहुंचता नहीं है। हम जो रिसर्च करते हैं वो इंडस्ट्री में भी होती है, इंडस्ट्री में नहीं होती ये बात नहीं है, इंडस्ट्री में भी होती है। द इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज कि जो रिसर्च हम लैब में करते हैं उसको इंडस्ट्री तक ले जाने के लिए हमें इंडस्ट्री को इन्वॉल्व करना पड़ेगा, वो आइडिया को इंडस्ट्री के साथ शेयर करना पड़ेगा। ये इंस्टीट्यूशंस की भी जवाबदारी है, इंस्टीट्यूशंस को भी इसमें एंगेज होना पड़ेगा कि इंडस्ट्री को कैसे हम अपने रिसर्च में एंगेज करें। और जो भी हम रिसर्च करते हैं ऑलवेज ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट द इंडस्ट्रियल वे ऑफ डूइंग इट। It is not only a research that should be the theoretical, it should be the practical research that should be there. तो जो भी हम आइडियाज लेते हैं या करते हैं उसको इंडस्ट्री के साथ हमें प्रेजेंट करना पड़ेगा, इंडस्ट्री को दिखाना पड़ेगा, और हमें बहुत ही कंजर्वेटिव वे में उसको शो नहीं करना है, ओपन एवरीथिंग कि हमने ये बनाया है, हम ये कर सकते हैं, अगर आप रेडी हो तो हम आपको टेक्नोलॉजी देने के लिए तैयार है। आज की डेट में जो मैं देख रहा हूँ, बना तो लेते हैं लेकिन जब देने की बारी आती है कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर करेंगे, तब कहीं ना कहीं लोग इसको हेजिटेट होते हैं पूरा नॉलेज शेयर करने में। तो यहाँ पे जो इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर है वो है ट्रस्ट बिटवीन एकेडमिक्स एंड द इंडस्ट्री। देयर शुड बी ट्रस्ट फैक्टर, देयर शुड बी द नॉलेज शेयरिंग, देयर शुड बी द प्रेजेंटेशन टुवर्ड्स द इंडस्ट्री। वी ऑलवेज लुक एट द एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूशन की इंडस्ट्री हमारे पास आएगी फिर हम बताएंगे, ऐसा आज की डेट में होता नहीं है। हमें अगर फास्ट चलना है तो इंडस्ट्री को ये सब कुछ बता के उनको प्रोडक्ट शेयर नॉलेज ट्रांसफर करना पड़ेगा टू वर्क ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट।
नेक्स्ट
sir, can you add something on sir use of nanotechnology into the sir healthcare devices and whatever you have sir explained in that sir.
So I have shown few of the example, but nanotechnology, like there are people who are working on the nanoparticle based drug delivery, targeted drug delivery for the cancer, targeted various diseases based on metal nanoparticles. So, and even nanofiber and nanotechnology in the pharmaceutical industry is very used area. Okay, so people, they are already started on making the nano formulations of the drugs for controlled drug delivery. Okay, there are many groups are working on this particularly in the healthcare sector.
next
Sir, and sir, you have shown sir some soldiers they are wearing some suits to prevent sir whenever they are fighting onto the border sir, then they are for their security they are wearing some suits which is made up of nanotechnology and nanoscience. Sir, can you describe it for my better understanding sir, something what
That is basically the antibacterial antifungal coats. Okay, nanofiber is coated inside the surface to avoid the infections, bacteria and the virus infection. Okay, most of the time soldiers in the wet areas, okay, they have to wear the cloths for a longer time, then there is an infection, bacterial infection always happens. Okay, so to avoid that basically it is created in that way. Another example is the biological warfare. So what happens mostly, the cloth which are available, they have the inside coating which is very airtight coating, doesn't allow anything inside go to inside. So it feels more suffocated. Then you need to have the positive suction pump where it will create the environment inside the suit, and you will have to have that particular always run. Then what is here, what we demonstrated some of the examples, like some chemisorption method materials which is added in the nanofibers, and that coating will have the chemical absorption capability. So any kind of chemical warfare is happening or biological warfare happening, chemical absorption, there's carbon based nanofibers will absorb the gases inside it, it won't allow to pass it. So there are different application in the medical, in the defense. Like one is of course antibacterial, antiviral. One is the chemisorption technique where the gases will be absorbed during the chemical, warfare or maybe biological warfare.
And sir, if sir, if it was produced from nanomaterials, sir, then sir, nanoparticles, then sir, it was not increase strength of that coat, sir, which
Here
they were.
we are talking about the coatings. Coatings will be on the existing materials. Okay, material will not be changed. Material is same. We are adding one more layer on top of it. So strength will be given by the existing material, not by the nanomaterials.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sandip sir, due to the emerging field of nanotechnology and equipment and testing equipment also are very costly of nanotechnology. So, and in a Gujarat also, at a very few place, equipments are available for testing and for creating the nanoparticles. So, in these limited resources, how we can proceed?
See, nanofiber, nanotechnology, of course, the characterization technique is very important. And most of the time, the scanning electron microscope is the very standard methodology to use it. And I'm sure many of the institutions, scanning electron microscopy is available. The question is accessibility. How easy you can access it, because many places they have the instrument, but access is very difficult for some reasons. Okay, so of course, like what you are saying is in India, the institutions like IIT, they have all the things to do it, but institutions like I should not say the maybe other institutions, but the institutions like not government funded, privately funded, they have the limited resources. Doing this research is always a difficult task. Okay, but in a collaboration, many institutions with IIT Kanpur, they are doing with the many the collaborations, like they are just doing the synthesis of materials and sending these materials to IIT Kanpur and the other institutions for the testing. Nowadays, the DST have created the center of excellence. It is not related to any of the body, it is related to the center. So you can create the material and you can send that material to the that particular center to do your all the characterization.
Okay, thank you, sir. So here we end the question answer session. Now I would like to invite Professor Arun Patel, Assistant Professor in a Chemical Engineering Department of JEC Bharuch, to give vote of thanks for the session.
Good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon, Dr. Sandip Patil, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Patel.
Good afternoon, sir. So here we are coming to concluding our today's session. So as we have started our session with Dr. Sandip Patil, sir, MD of Eastwin Nanotech Pvt Limited. As Rana sir introduced, given nice introduction about sir, sir started his journey from farmer to founder, as we know. And itself, it was really inspiring story. We have just before our hour, we have listened how sir started that venture from the very small scale to MNCs having a venture of 3,000 crore, right? So it was really inspiring. Before we have gone through the technical sessions. And sir has also nicely explained about nanofiber technology and its commercial opportunities, future startup, in which sir has also briefly explained nicely about the overview toward the entrepreneurial journey of his oven. Moreover, that sir has also touched upon few points which was related to nanofiber technology, its property and its application. Moreover, that nanofiber manufacturing technology, which is related to especially for the area of electrospinning technology, and which that preparation of that size of 50 nanometer nanofibers. Moreover, that sir has also explained about the various applications of nanofibers, which specially related to nanofiber for the environment, nanofiber utilization in the energy area, defense and textile sector, healthcare sector. Moreover, that for the manufacturing of that sensors. Moreover, that it was related to that building technology as a sound absorber also. Moreover, that sir has also explained opportunities for the startup also in nanofiber market. Sir has also given insights of the global nanofiber markets. As sir also we come to know about the how we can find that opportunity in our pandemic situation also from we have really nicely learned how you have converted that pandemic situation into your opportunity for your specific business. So it was also learning lesson for we all people, right? So itself, and moreover that right now you are in area where you are right now doing your research for your business expansion, as you have already mentioned that SWASA N95 mask also. So that overall that things whichever you have shared, that was really inspiring for we people also. So we will also definitely take it in a positive way, and for students also. So it is really a kind of positive indications where we are right now taking pain. We don't have that kind of opportunity where we can move our step forward direction. So sir is also nicely touch upon that area also where we can expand our horizons, right? So thank you so much, sir, for giving enlightening all of us and our students also. And as we know, being an entrepreneur or being a business person, you have the value of minutes, but still you have spent 1.5 hours for our students and for our we people. So thank you so much. We are also thankful to our department Professor Rana sir for arranging so nice talk, and also Professor Alpesh Rana sir for arranging such a nice talk for our students. And on the behalf of all the chemical engineering department and our faculty member, we are thankful, sir. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. It is really nice to have interaction with all the people like you, and it is my honor to be here. Thanks.
It's our pleasure. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I also express my gratefulness to Sandip sir for accepting invitation and sparing the time. And here we declare the end of the session. And I also like to invite Sandip sir at Baroda. And also you can come to Bharuch also.
Sure. Anytime. I will be there.
Thank
Sir,
you.
sir, if time permits, actually, as I shared previous earlier PPT also, so we want to arrange one inspiring talk also. Other than that technical session, if it will be if it will be permission from your side, then definitely, sir, we are in a planning to arrange one. Motivational talk also, which a combination with the technical session. So it.
Anytime, I will be happy to do that. Anytime.
Thank you. It's our there. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Okay.
you to all of us.
Thank you so much, Alpesh sir and Vaghela sir. You must be knowing Dr. Patel. Me and Alpesh was the classmate, and Vaghela sir was the senior to us. So like we were staying in Emmy Hall at Baroda. So me and Alpesh
Yes, yes, sir. Yes,
used to come on cycle.
yes, sir. Yes. Thank you.
Okay then.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Namaskar. Bye bye.